here to win a game. And look, I thought we competed against a good team, but at the end of the day, we didn't make enough plays, and there was plays out there to be made, and we didn't make enough plays. And look, you got to give them credit. I mean, obviously they got a really good football team, offensively, defensively, in the kicking game. They made enough plays to win the game, but I felt like there were some opportunities out there for us, and we didn't take advantage of them. Well, I think primarily there were some plays offensively that were there to be made, and we didn't take advantage of it.
Description that you get from the officials on the play that was overturned in the first half.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what a catch is in our league anymore. It's kind of changed multiple times. Their explanation to me was that he didn't survive the ground. So, I don't know what a catch is.
You mentioned not making plays, but turnovers during this game. How frustrating is that to see repeatedly this season?
Yeah, frustrating, especially in a game like this. You start the game off, and on the first drive, you put the ball on the ground, and you're down 3-0 to a good team on the road, and then obviously we had another one down there, in the red area, where we're down there on about the 2-yard line. So, yeah, that's frustrating because we have some opportunities, and you're not gonna beat a good team unless you make the plays that are there to be made, and if you turn the football over, you're not gonna beat a good team.
Dennis, when you got back there a few minutes later, inside the 5, it was 4 straight passing attempts. Is that an indication of this team just wasn't letting you run the ball there, and you weren't running the ball well?
Yeah, it was a struggle to run the ball against these guys, and we knew going into it that they were a good, run defense. Yeah, we tried to call the plays that we thought gave us an opportunity to score. I felt like there was, potentially a missed call down there on Jarvis Landry when we missed him in the end zone, which would have been a big call in the end zone. But yeah, certainly we had our opportunities down there in the red area and weren't able to capitalize.
We talked so much about all the things, the buy-in and the confidence and keeping morale and spirit up. When you have a game at this point in the season where you score 0 points, is that really frustrating and really hard to deal with?
Well, I think that's frustrating and hard to deal with in any part of the season. It is. But look, it happened, and we got to move on from it. We got to learn from it, and we got to make sure that we're better from it. So,
I think it was that interception on the back. Call back the call down the
yeah, I don't agree with the call, and I don't know exactly where we had the ball at. I want to say down there, 10-yard line, something like that. It was a big play in the game. A huge play in the game, and a total momentum changing call in the game.
You referenced the shutout, but this seemed like a game where at any point you could really turn the tide quickly because of the amount of chances you get.
We had a lot of chances. We had a lot of chances. We had the ball in our hands a couple of times in the end zone and couldn't come up with the play. So, we're going to go back and look at this tape, but I feel like we gave ourselves plenty of opportunities to win this game. And look, you have to give them credit. Like, they made the plays when they needed to make the plays. And so I don't want to take anything away from them because I think they're an outstanding football team. But I feel like there were some plays out there that we could have made that could have been the difference in the game.
False start rate on that 4th down play or quarter. It just seems like false starts in general have been an issue for the team this year.
Well, we went from going for it on 4th down to, attempting a field goal, and we didn't hit the field goal. So it affected us in that way.
And was your plan with Taylor and Roby? Kind of pushing out here.
Yeah, look, we were kind of rotating through there a little bit, and it's actually a good problem to have when you have good players, and I think both Roby and Alante, and hopefully Lattimore will be back. Adebo. I mean, I think when we got everybody healthy, I think it's a pretty good group back there. So yeah, we're trying to find snaps for everybody.
Do you feel like you all came into this game knowing the kind of game you were going to take to win? You were close to
Yeah, and look, I feel like we played the game the way the game needed to be played. There's just some plays there that we have to make that make the difference in the game. The incompletion to Olave, I think, was a big play. There's a couple of balls that are in the end zone that we have an opportunity to catch potentially. Now they're good plays. It's not like they're just easy necessarily, but those are to beat a good team like that. Those are the plays that you have to make.
And to the point about the false, I mean, having false starts and fumbles, it feels like questions we're asking after supposed to be in September. And those two areas really sitting there, false starts and fumbles being part of what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't turn the ball over, and certainly penalties hurt. And they hurt us in those instances.
They had some injuries on the offensive line, but what do you account for the struggles running the ball, I guess, over the last few games overall?
Well, look, I'd have to go back and look at all the statistics, but I know we've played some pretty good run defenses. I feel like we ran the ball fairly effectively last week. So, this was, look, we knew this was like they're the number one defense in the National Football League, and they're that way for a reason. They do a good job stopping the run. They do a good job of stopping the pass. So, they made the plays that they had to make today, and we didn't. Okay, thanks.
What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And this is the State of the Saints podcast post-game show. The New Orleans Saints lose yet another game this season. This time, they get shut out by the 49ers. The score of 13-0. This makes the Saints 4-8, make them dead last, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFC South, where they belong, quite honestly. Man, I just want to get this show over with so I can go eat my big chicken. I'm just being real, man. It ain't nothing really we just need to discuss that we don't already know already. I mean, we know that this team is not very good. We know that Dennis Allen is a lame duck coach. We know that this team is undisciplined. We know that this team cannot seem to get out of their own way. Like, what are we talking about at this particular point? Dennis Allen, he went to the podium saying a whole bunch of stuff that nobody really cares about. He had a little bit of fire and passion in his voice, but it took him about 12 weeks in order for him to get that. Andy Dalton, I gotta say, like, I know people ready to you know what I'm saying, bombard and destroy Andy Dalton. I gotta be real with you. The Saints didn't lose this game because of Andy Dalton. Now I know they got some people out here that is evaluating this dude with a fine-tooth comb, and they want him to make mistakes so he can justify Jameis Winston starting. He was not the reason why the Saints lost this football game. The Saints lost this football game is simple because Pete Carmichael, he probably called one of his worst games I've ever seen in my entire life. If you want to talk about Andy Dalton, fine. You want to talk about him taking that sack on fourth down, fine. But on first down, I seen him throw a dart to Jawan Johnson, and he dropped it. I seen him throw a pass to Taysom Hill. The ball hit his hands, and he dropped it. And then, of course, on fourth down, he ended up taking the sack. This is a bad football team. It's a waste of time, like basically just keep on saying the same things over and over again. This defense played outstanding, for the exception of Chris Harris' bum ass. They did a good job. Everybody did a good job. You can tell, like, when they start to get a little bit healthier, they start getting their guys back, you can see the improvement in the defense. If your defense allows only 13 points, I said this on Twitter, 99.9999% of the time, you should win the football game. The Saints had ample opportunities, ample, to win this football game. You miss a field goal by Will Lutz. You fumble on the one with Alvin Kamara, and you can't get the ball into the end zone with 4 passing plays. So with that, if I'm not, I mean, that's about 17 points right there, right? And not to mention, you know, the foolishness that the referee said that he didn't survive the ground. So at that particular point, you're looking at about 20 to 13. So you're looking at about, you know what I'm saying, like a 7, like you're winning by 7 points, because there was nothing special about the San Francisco 49ers team today. Defensively, yeah, okay, I'll give them that. But offensively, did George Kittle do anything? No. Did Chris McCaffrey do anything? No. Did Brandon Ayuk do anything? No. You know, like the Saints had the perfect defensive game plan to win the football game. And this is the most frustrating thing about being a Saints fan in 2022, is that they cannot complement one another, offense and defense. It's rather the offense is going to have a big game and the defense is going to play like slow, or the defense is going to have an outstanding game and the offense is going to play like slow. The Saints have absolutely no playmakers out there. For the exception of Chris Olave, they have no playmakers. There's nobody out there that can win those 50-50 balls. There's very few people out there that's going to actually catch the ball when it's in their hands. It's just a bunch of guys that's just out there. And I strongly believe that the Saints need to do an extreme overhaul this offseason when it comes to the offensive side of football. That includes the quarterback position. Y'all already know how I feel about Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is a terrible head coach. He is not a good head coach. He's a good defensive coordinator, which we obviously saw in this game, but he is not a good head coach. So I understand that this is going to be tough. And yes, Who Dat Nation, it may even involve the New Orleans Saints defense having to take a step back, because he is a good defensive coordinator. But I am willing to accept that, because I need Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael, Andy Dalton, and all the rest of these underachieving players that are making this team absolutely heart-wrenching to watch, to get the hell out of my face. Seriously. I know I apologize for the language, but I'm just being dead serious. I need these dudes out of my face. The Saints are too good of a football team. Like, seriously, you put a competent coach on the sidelines and the Saints are not 4-8. You put a competent coach on the sidelines, the Saints are not 4-8. I am sick and I'm tired of it. Like, I'm serious. Like, man, it's almost to a point. I'm dead serious. It's to a point if Mickey Loomis and Gail Benson come out and say that Dennis Allen will be the head coach in 2023, I think that Saints fans don't need to buy season tickets. I think that they need to boycott the games because you ain't about to tell me, you are not about to tell me that this team would be any better next season under his tutelage and his leadership than they are right now. I'm serious, man. You gotta love yourself enough to stay away from these underachieving ass games. Seriously. Like, for 15 years, this team has been the epitome of offensive efficiency. Regardless if they made the playoffs or not, you knew that going into the game on Sundays that the New Orleans Saints had a chance to win. No matter who they were going up against, no matter what the record of the other team was, you knew for a fact that they had a chance to win. How many games have you seen this season? Besides the fact that you just have the love and admiration in your heart for this team, did you really honestly believe that the Saints were going to win? If you're being really truthful to yourself, the answer is probably one or two. I am sick and I am tired of watching this team just completely wet the bed every single week. And you got clowns trying to justify, oh, it ain't Dennis Allen's fault. Man, whatever. You got clowns out here, well, you know, Andy Dalton. Like, bruh, get these boys off my sidelines. We got about 5 more games of this nonsense. We got about 5 more games of this comedy that they call in football. I'm dead serious, man. We need to love this team enough to let them know that we ain't about to take this nonsense. Who is about to line up to buy season tickets to see a Dennis Allen coach New Orleans Saints team? Like, seriously, man, you know what you can do with that money? I mean, you can take your wife on a luxurious trip to Cancun somewhere, or, you know what I'm saying, out the country to Morocco. Y'all can go rock climbing or something. Save your money because this dude is not the answer. Pete Carmichael is not the answer. Andy Dalton is not the answer. This 2022 Saints campaign has been an embarrassment. A stomped down embarrassment. How can anybody justify this dude coaching? How can you have to be the biggest contrarian, the biggest Skip Bayless wannabe out there for you to justify, well, you know, Dennis Allen, I mean, I don't think he's that bad. I don't think, I'm serious, man. Like, find somebody for you to love you for who you are where you don't have to go on social media to go against the grain to get some attention. I don't know. Get yourself somebody, get yourself a dog or something like that to give you the attention that you seek, because there is no way that a person in their right mind will honestly justify this coaching job. Like, get yourself a dog, get yourself a hamster, a rabbit, or something, or maybe a date on a Friday night, because you need something that's going to give you some attention, because obviously being a contrarian you feel like will give you what you see. Dennis Allen needs to go. The Saints aren't making the playoffs. I mean, anybody that felt this way today, God bless you. They weren't making the playoffs a couple weeks ago, and they definitely ain't making the playoffs today. It is what it is, folks. We got 5 more weeks of this nonsense. So let's just strap in. Hopefully, Sean Payton wants to come back, and maybe we can get ourselves a first-round pick. Maybe we can get ourselves a quarterback of the future, and maybe we can run this thing back and play some good defense and help out the young guy and make him live up to his full potential, because I can't take too much more of this, man. Seriously. I can't take too much more of this. This is absolutely pathetic. This is pathetic, man. Pathetic. Let me read some of your comments. Let's go ahead and go from there. I'm not gonna be long. I'm dead, bro. I'm so serious. I'm not gonna be long. I got some chicken to eat. Big C and businessman, thank you for the $5. Say I agree with you, TJ, but my prediction is the front office will bring DA back and try instead to change the quarterback and offensive coordinator first. Well, look, that may be a start. Like, honestly, that may be a start. I wouldn't look. I rather them fire Dennis Allen, but go and get another offensive coordinator may be a start. I mean, I still don't think that's going to be the answer, because you still got Dennis Allen on the sidelines as your head coach. But hey, that's just me. But I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're going to do, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that they feel like, look, here's the reality. Look, how can you justify and blame Pete Carmichael? This is probably one of the worst coach games Pete Carmichael had all season long. It's been times where Pete Carmichael looked like he was better than what Dennis Allen was doing defensively. So if they want to do that, if they want to use Pete Carmichael as a scapegoat, I mean, be my guest, but you still going to have to make up for the incompetence of a Dennis Allen coach team. But hey, if that's what you want to do, if you want to sell that to the fans, when the fans, like, I don't know why they think that Saints fans are dumb. Like, we're not stupid. Like, we can obviously see what's going on. Like, you can talk about the play calling, but when you have like more false starts, and you have the most false starts among any team in the National Football League, when you have all these holding penalties, when you have all these turnovers, when you have all these things going on, you cannot look to anybody but the head coach, because you have to ask yourself, well, why aren't they coaching these type of situations? Why aren't they putting emphasis on these situations? It's rather they're not putting emphasis on them, or the guys that's carrying the ball or catching the ball does not respect the person that's telling them they need to hold on to the football. So we can pretend all day, but that's going to be a hard sell to a Saints fan that actually understands football and sees what the heck is going on. I'm just going to be serious. Like, I'm just going to be real. You can do that if you want, but hey, the whole division sucks so bad they got a shot at the playoffs. Man, I'm done with this whole shot at the playoffs thing. The Saints not making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. They are not making the playoffs. Stop doing this to yourself. Please, stop doing it. They might win next week against Tampa, go off the bye week, and then lose again. And then they might win again, and then they might lose the rest. Like, come on, man. They've been doing this all year. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, I get it, man. We want hope. We want faith and all that kind of stuff. But come on, man. Give me a freaking break. Like, I'm tired of playing this game with this team, man. Feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. You know, the sad thing about it is, Derek, before I get to Ronan, you know, the sad thing about this is, if the Saints had a better coach, they would not be in this situation. They have good players. They have good players. They have the players. The Saints are good enough to make the playoffs with a better coach. With a better coach, the Saints are capable of making the playoffs. That's the frustrated thing. If the Saints were just god awful, if they were just terrible, I'm telling you, if they was terrible, I'd get behind this microphone. I'd just say, man, they tried, they battled hard, this, that, and the third. Bruh, but they good enough to make the playoff with a better coach. Saints keep missing the window to lead the division. Every time they have a chance, they lose. So frustrating. Yep. Speculation at best. Sounded the alarm. Let's see. I'm not getting season tickets next year for sure. Man, keep your money. Camaro weak right now because of Tia Cooper. Now we're going to blame the man girlfriend. Man, nah. Look, I understand, like, when we lose, we always trying to find reasons and all that kind of stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't got nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with the fact that maybe they don't put emphasis on the importance of holding on to the football. And I find it ironic, that he was the one in the locker room trying to get everybody rallied up and talking about holding people accountable. So what's going to happen with him? But I don't think it has anything to do with his girlfriend. I feel the same way, TJ. To be honest, we still can get to the playoffs because Buccaneers lost. And man, I'm out. I'm sorry, man, but look, everybody's talking about playoffs right now. I might fast forward you. I might skip past you. Pete Carmichael didn't want the OC job from the start, and it shows. Exactly. Maybe you should have believed this guy. And I'm telling you, man, all jokes aside, look, shouts out to everybody here that's commenting, but if you start talking about, if I see your comment talking about playoffs, I'm fast forwarding. Seriously. We shouldn't even be talking about, we shouldn't even be talking about no playoffs. I didn't know losing by 13 to the 49ers on the road is a tragedy. Yeah, these are the type of people that I'm talking about. Those are the type of people that I'm talking about, folks. I agree with Big C. They hold the injuries as part of the excuse. Definitely getting a hamster. Say it with me, Skywalker DA and Scary Pete has to go. I mean, I don't know if they would have gotten the end zone. I really don't. I don't know if they would have. I don't know if they would have gotten to the end zone. I don't know if they would have scored. I don't know if they would have made a field goal because clearly Will Lutz, I don't know what the heck happened to him. This guy just fell off. But that 4th and 1, Andy Dalton scrambled for like 9.5 yards. And it's 4th and 1 on the New Orleans 45. You need 1 yard. Even a commentator said this. He said the 49ers have the best defense in the league. However, in short yardage situation, they're ranked among the worst teams during 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. And yet you still don't go for it. You have one of the biggest, most physical quarterbacks to run QB power with, but instead you're going to call the punt team out? You're going to call the punt team out. But I find it like dumb when you should have took the points for a field goal, but you was going to go for it on 4th and 5. You have Taysom Hill. You got Taysom Hill. A guy who can, that's going to do everything he can to give you 1 yard. Look, and if you can't get 1 yard, then heck, you don't deserve the ball. It's just that simple. But instead, you call the punt team. Then this was the clincher right here. So it's obvious what you had about 17 seconds left going into the half. It's obvious that you were trying to set yourself up for, to get in field goal range, right? Because you had some timeouts or whatever. The New Orleans Saints, with their conservative tails, throw the ball to the left sidelines to Traquan Smith. I guess it was about 7 yards. I want to say maybe like the 45 or something like that, on your own 45. Instead, you run a draw play. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but every New Orleans Saints player I've seen was talking about how strong Jameis Winston's arm is. Why didn't you just bring Jameis Winston out there to throw a Hail Mary down the field? He would have got the ball into the end zone, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know if it would have been a touchdown, but at least I would have felt like, man, these boys were trying to win. It missed me with that stuff like y'all weren't trying to kick no field goal or nothing, because you was. That's why you came out there trying to run a little. Man, miss me with that, man. It's just stuff like that. Man, these boys are scary. This is a cowardly football team. I ain't never seen this team is equivalent to a guy, folded up in the corner in a fetal position. That's just what it is, man. This team has no swag, no confidence, no dog, nothing. And we supposed to just sit up here and just spend our hard-earned money on merchandise. We supposed to sit up here and spend our hard-earned money on tickets. And these boys just out here just being as lackadaisical and, I'm getting paid. It don't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I got 5 years, 75 million. You know what I'm saying? I got 5 years, 50 million. I'm good. I'm good money. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hop in my Phantom. I'm going to hop in my Lex. I'm going to hop in my Benz. I'm going to hop in my Bentley truck. I'm good. But we supposed to spend our hard-earned money when most of us can't afford Bentley trucks and Jaguars and all these other extravagant things. But we supposed to accept This nonsense. Man, miss me with this. Miss me with this. You ain't about to tell me that you ain't doing everything that you can to win a football game. What you're doing is you playing scared. Andy Dalton plays scared. Pete Carmichael coach scared. Dennis Allen coach scared. And guess what? Guess what that gives you? That gives you a scary football team. Them boys is scared. They scared out there. You might have a couple guys that's not scared. I'll give them that. But for the most part, the way that they call in plays is scared. And how can you instill a level of confidence in your players if you don't even trust them to get 1 yard? Man, I wish a Sean Payton would. Y'all can say whatever you want about Sean Payton. You can call him a quitter. You can say, oh, he abandoned ship. But one thing you know he was going to do, if that was 4th and 1, Sean Payton was going for that. It's rather he was going to hard count it or he was going to send Taysom Hill in there to batter ram his way through it for a first down. I can tell you that right now. Let's be honest, TJ, neither DA or Pete wanted the job. They was. Look, I don't know if DA didn't want the job. I'm pretty sure that he did because he wanted to interview for the job if he didn't want the job. But as far as Pete Carmichael, I think you should have just left him alone. I think you should have left him alone. I think you should have allowed him to be an executive somewhere for the Saints organization the way that he wanted it to be and got yourself offensive coordinator. Maybe we're not in this situation. I think Sean Payton will come back next year. Please, he is on contract still. And I think the most amount of wins we will get this year is 5 or 6. Well, look, I like that optimism. But look, man, Sean Payton did not want to coach the New Orleans Saints anymore. And I don't know why y'all just feel like, oh, yeah, why y'all believe in this nonsense about, oh, he just needed a break. Man, this dude wanted to coach the Dolphins. And if it wasn't for Brian Flores, you would have been ticked off at the fact that Sean Payton really jumped ship. You would have really been justified to feel like he gave up on the team. Sean Payton does not want to coach the New Orleans Saints anymore. Like, he does not. Now, you can try to force him to coach the team, but how effective would that be? Well, we still got you under contract. What the best thing that can happen with the New Orleans Saints is this. Like, let's just go ahead and suspend this. The best thing for you to do if you're a New Orleans Saints executive or a fan is to hope that he does come back next year in 2023, and you get somebody first round draft pick. It's just that simple. Sean Payton does not want to coach the New Orleans Saints anymore. All these scenarios about him going, like, my question would be this, like, why? Okay, if he wanted to be here so badly, why did he step down in the first place? You ever thought about that? You ever thought about why did he do it in the first place? I know y'all don't believe, oh, he was tired. Oh, he needed a mental health break. Man, please. Like, you think Bill Belichick don't need a mental health break? Being separated from a quarterback that he coached for 20 years and they've been looking about as mediocre as you possibly can. No, that is the reason why he stepped down. It's just that simple. That's the reason why he stepped down. Because some of the same growing pains that Bill Belichick is dealing with, it would have been the same thing for Sean Payton. And Sean Payton wants to go somewhere that has an established quarterback, like a Justin Herbert, like a guy that he feel like he can build a team around, and it is a franchise quarterback. And the Saints don't have that, as y'all obviously can see. When you have Andy Dalton throwing wide receiver screens to the dirt, like, I want to quit too, to be honest with you. The referees are blind when it comes to the Saints. Yes, clearly blind. That 4th down that they sacked Andy Dalton, that was clearly offsides. Okay, that should have been half the distance to the goal. Should have been 4th down at the 1 yard, 1.5 yard line. But it didn't happen. But hey, it's the Saints. That hit that Andy Dalton threw the pass to Alvin Kamara and Fred Warner hit him. That was helmet to helmet, But of course, it's just the Saints. That's all it is. It's the Saints, right? Nobody cares. Like, it's the Saints, man. It's the Saints. Come on, man. I feel I'm highly shocked at some of you to really honestly believe that if a play is nip-tuck, right, there's a chance where the referees decide the fate of the Saints in a crucial situation. Why would anybody believe in 2022 that the referees will rule in favor of the Saints. Like, God bless you if you feel that way. So you gotta please tell me in a crucial situation, and when something is on the line in a crucial down or a crucial situation where the referees actually ruled in favor of the Saints when a challenge was called, or they could have picked up a flag and didn't. I'm just wondering to myself, like, why is anybody like putting themselves through that type of heartbreak and headache to actually believe that the NFL and the referees are going to rule in favor of the Saints? Sub TJ and the Who That Nation, the swag and identity left when CJ Gardner-Johnson got traded. Man, it's beyond that, bro. It's beyond that. The players couldn't get in the end zone. Maybe they were allergic to the end zone today. I'll say it like this, okay? There's a couple things that we just need to understand and address. All right. So under Dennis Allen, the Saints have had their worst start in franchise history. Well, they'd had their worst start since 2005, before Sean Payton got here. And they got shut out for the first time in over 337 games. And who was the head coach? Oh, yeah, Dennis Allen. So two of the worst things that can possibly happen to this team has happened under Dennis Allen. But we're supposed to accept, oh, man, well, you know, this guy hurt, that guy hurt. Look, Matthew Stafford didn't play. He had a concussion, right? He had a concussion. And Perkins, the backup quarterback out of Virginia, played today. Even he scored. Even he threw a touchdown. You got Mike White for the Jets, threw 3 of them things. And yet Andy Dalton, a 12-year quarterback who has started in this league, who has been a franchise quarterback, can't get the ball into the end zone. It's hard for me to believe that, bro. I don't care. I don't care who you got. I don't care who you got on your team. I done seen the Saints trot out there with worse talent than this. And I done seen them put some points on the board. Like, this man has really got the New Orleans Saints in the dark ages. Like, seriously. This dude has got the Saints in the dark ages. Linda, thank you very much for $4.99. Says, TJ, let's please pass the people that are still saying Sean Payton will come back. Yeah, I mean, that's up there with the list too. Anybody that's up here talking about the playoff hunt, anybody that just like I'm oh man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. This guy constantly contradicts himself. Well, get the heck off my channel then. How about that? Dude, you do not matter. You only matter because I click on you like this. And just like you think that you matter, I'm going to click on you like this. And we ain't going to hear from your tail no more. Next question. Don't come on my show and be talking about, man, you don't know what I'm talking about. I must know what I'm talking about because I read one of your comments 10 minutes ago and you still here. So enjoy. But maybe you have to find yourself another profile to watch me. Thomas, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says Andy played well and we still ended up with 0 points. Something has to change. Yeah, I'm not even mad so much at Andy Dalton. Like, to me, Andy Dalton wasn't the reason why they lost. But I'm just saying, this dude, you got to find a way to get this ball into the end zone. I will say this. There was one play. This dude looked clean to the right. To the left side, you had Alvin Kamara was wide open. Like the entire defense rolled to the right. Alvin Kamara was wide open. It was a 1st and goal. Alvin Kamara could have skipped into the end zone. He did not look that dude way, not one time. Not one time. I mean, I like it's stuff like that frustrates me when it comes to Andy Dalton. But as far as Andy Dalton, he's not the reason why the Saints lost today. Juwan Johnson, this was a game that he gonna look back and be like, God, dog, I could have made some plays. It was one, they got bailed out on this play. It was Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill wrote, you know what I'm saying, was like they thought he was gonna run up the middle, but he ran back. He got hit. in the chest, which, man, Taysom Hill is, I don't know what he made out of. Must be made out of vibranium himself, but he got hit smack dab in the chest. Any other quarterback probably would have went down from that force. He bounced off of it, rolled to the left, and threw the ball, and Jawan Johnson could have caught the pass. It bounced off, but of course, it was a roughing the passer penalty, so the Saints got bailed out in that. But man, Alvin Kamara was wide open. You said it, TJ. We have a team that can't get it done. We have players to see how these coaches, man, it's painful. Let's see. I saw that play too. I was screaming Kamara open. That man was wide open. TJ, the views have let me see. The views have to a voice as well, brother. That is what makes the show. Yes, the viewers do make the shows, but when you start talking about stuff just to get my attention, and you basically just saying stuff and saying stuff just to be a contrarian, then it is what it is. You know, like I'm going to get rid of you. It's just that simple. And I look, honestly, and quite honestly, anybody that knows, you know what I'm saying, how I do the show, they know that I respect people's opinion. But I don't know what T Hump is. I don't know exactly who he is, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the show if that's what you're saying. If that's what you believe, welcome to the show. Because I've been doing it for 5 years. And I don't think that this show would be as successful as it is if I didn't listen to people's comments. So welcome to the show. I feel bad for the young fans out there. The last time I felt like this about the team was about 15 years ago. Yeah, I mean it's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad, man. But look, man, hopefully this is just a bump in the road and they learned their lessons. Said Hill ain't special. I don't know what we talking about with that. Andy Dalton led us in rushing today with 21 yards. This team is past abysmal. You ain't lying. Did you know that Winston has one of the highest end zone completions in the NFL? Yeah, in red zone too. He got one of the highest red zone percentages for a quarterback as well. New to the channel, quick question. Do you know DA contract details? No, I don't. But I do know what it needs to read. It needs to read void. They need to go ahead and just rip that thing up. I don't care what it say. Pay this man his money and send him on his merry little way. Andy played all right. 49ers are tough. Yeah, he played. Look, look, Andy Dalton played okay. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't lights out. It wasn't like nothing that knocked your socks off. But he did make the throws to win the game. Like, and he did do some things where the Saints, if they had if these receivers would actually catch the ball, they probably would have been more successful, and his stat line would have looked more impressive than what it actually did. So you had a lot of these receivers kind of let Andy down in this game, to be honest with you. But man, they got to find a way to get it done. They got to find a way to get it done. I can't even say it. And the 49ers are tough, but the Saints should have won this game. This might be the most frustrating game all season because it's like it's like watching a team like just shy away from prosperity. Like they see something good happening. Oh, let me get away from it. Right? You had the Bucks lose, the Falcons lost, Carolina, you know what I'm saying? They like the way the division going, Carolina might win the division. You had all these different things happen, all work in your favor, and yet you still couldn't get the job done. You came into this, like, you know the sad thing about all this? Here's the most saddest thing about all this. You knew the Falcons lost. You knew the Bucks lost. So you knew what you needed to do. You knew it. You knew what you needed to do.
Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Wake up, honey.
Okay. All right. All right. We about to go ahead and take ourselves a little brief break. My boy got to take a little potty break. I'll be right All right, sorry about that, Who That Nation. I apologize, but hey, man, do the calls, right? Got to make sure my boy go to the potty. Thank y'all for being so patient. Stroll down a little bit. Says this team is just not good enough to beat a team like the Niners, although there was a glimmer, but ultimately they are bad. The thing about it, Jack, is they could have won this game. They could have won this game, man. And they were good enough to win this game. They had enough to win this game. Look, you don't get those many shots in the red zone and not have a chance to win a football game. This team is just not good enough. I already read that. Dude called me Bimbo Slice. Let's see. Chris Harris got AI and got mad at Jennings. Yeah, Chris Harris needs to go sit down somewhere, man. I know y'all can find something better than that, man. What Bryce Thompson at? Bring him back. Hey, TJ, I feel your frustration, big dog. I guess he's saying big fog, but I guess he meant big dog. I'm glad to see Pennant back. Pete Warner, Caden Ellis, Chris Olave, Taylor, and Shaheed are bright spots. Yeah, Caden Ellis balled out. He had 14 tackles in this game. So somebody came to play. Him and Paulson Debo came to play. I feel like we are glossing over how bad Kamara played today. No, we're not. We're not. I mean, he had 2 crucial fumbles in this game. He definitely did. And you can't fumble the football on the goal line. You can't fumble the football on that first possession like that. I mean, Alvin Kamara, it just wasn't one of his best games. It's just that simple. But I don't know, man. To me, it's almost like for me to sit up here and be bashing guys who have I know that this game most likely going to be an outlier. It's going to be like an outlier game. It's kind of hard for me to just sit up here and just, oh man, he sucks. He stinks, man. He ain't play good. Like, we know he ain't play good. But how many games have we seen like this from Alvin Kamara? Not many, So, I mean, it was a bad game. It was a rough game. Definitely, that fumble was definitely crucial. But I mean, to me, obviously, when it comes to certain players, I don't really just sit up here and just try to beat down on them because I know 9 times out of 10, for the most part, they probably gonna end up having better games than they were. He can't get any worse than what he played today. So yeah, he played bad. I mean, I think we all can admit that. And like I say, he did fumble the football at a crucial time, but I don't see Alvin Kamara continuing down his path. Like, we know that Alvin Kamara is better than what he showed today. Gorilla Man Joe, thank you very much for $5. Said Andy can't throw the dart into the end zone. He's having happy feet in the red zone. All I know is he threw a pass to Jawan Johnson, hit him right in the face mask. Like, literally could have caught that pass. Then you had Taysom Hill threw it drew it right where the ball needs to be, which is in both of his hands, and he didn't catch it. But I will say this. When you got Jarvis Landry and Chris Olave in a red zone situation on a crucial third down, why are you throwing it to a quarterback / tight end? I don't know. We can't make an argument about that. He gonna make a YouTube channel and talk crap like the other dudes. Yeah, man. Look, I'm always making channels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always building channels one insult at a time. But I don't care, man. Look, I don't care. I really don't care, man, about people making channels, because at the end of the day, we know why they make channels, and if I can instill a level of confidence in a person for them to build a channel, and they can, basically build their channel off basically my show topics or the name of my show, then by all means, go ahead. Because we all know that if they were just being themselves or not mentioning me, nobody would give a damn what they're talking about. Let's see, TJ, how do you see the organization in the near future? Hopefully without Dennis Allen. The NFC South went from great from 2016 to 2019 to horrible. Cue to Jim Mora. Yeah, definitely need to cue to Jim Mora. Olave gets open easily. Man, Olave need to catch some of these tough passes, man. Olave, man, I like Olave, and I think he has a lot of promise, but man, dude, man, you got to come up with some of these passes. Like, And I don't know. Like I understand that pass talking about, he ain't survived the ground, but man, he had that pass where he could have caught it. It went straight through his hands, like when Jimmy Ward was like right, he had his back to him, and he could have easily. I mean, I won't say easily, but he should have caught that pass. Those are the type of passes. If you're gonna be the number one guy, you got to come down with. I mean, as far as his route running ability and all that kind of stuff and his speed, like yes, yeah, I love it. But if you're gonna be the number one guy, man, those are the type of catches you got to make. Penning looks like a rookie big time. I mean, this is his first game, his first game, and I'm pretty sure, that. I mean, it's 12 weeks into the season. You had these other rookies like Alontae Taylor and Chris Olave to get those little butterflies out, but this is his first official game, so I'm pretty sure he was nervous. Penning will be great. He has the determination and drive. Yeah, this is Penning's first game back. The Saints could have won the game, but they get shut out. Yeah, that's hilarious. This was another very winnable game. Make it make sense. Hey, TJ, can the Saints offensive line play any worse run blocking wise? Pukey. I mean, well, look, the 49ers, they have a really good run defense. So, I mean, they do this to a lot of folks, bro. Facts, first game back against arguably one of the best defensive linemen is tough. I agree. Where you think Sean Payton going to land next season? You think the Saints can get him? We need a quarterback that can audible route changes, not just killing a play and go to the second call. Lutz wasn't big. Yeah, he definitely was not. To answer your question, whoever asked me about that, Dustin, I think he's going to the Chargers. It was Penning's first game, including coming off of an injury. Mickey has to make some tough decisions to fix the negative he made last offseason and in the season. This game is beyond frustrating. DA and his OC has to go. I agree with that. This Taysom package is played out. They need to use him, but get creative. Look, I think they used him the right way. I think you're a genius when it works. It looks played out when it doesn't. Right? We only had like 2 weeks of this. Right? Last week they did it and it worked. Second time they did it, I gotta say, man, look. Taysom Hill threw the ball twice. That first pass that he threw to Chris Olave should have been a catch. The second pass when he scrambled out of pocket, threw it to Juwan Johnson, should have been a catch. And I think if that would have happened, then we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. You got to look at who you're going up against. I mean, this is one of the best defenses in football. So if you thought that they were just going to come out here and just see Taysom Hill like when he played against Seattle or something like that, I think you're sadly mistaken. I think you're not looking at the 49ers for how good and how doggish they are. I guarantee you, we ain't gonna criticize their heart. Them boys, they got some dogs out there. The Saints about to be trash for the next couple of years. I don't believe that. What's your prediction for the Fight Club Pain every Sunday? Yeah, you ain't lying. Pain every time you watch it. How the hell on a first and goal you don't try to run Taysom, not play all 4 down? P. Carmichael should be fired for that alone. TJ, who do you see going for next season besides DA? I don't even know if Dennis Allen going to be going. I got a feeling they're going to double down on this nonsense. But P. Carmichael needs to go. Like, they need a new offensive coordinator. Mike T not dropping no passes. I agree with that. You can talk about Mike T all you want to. Mike T gonna catch them passes in the red zone. He gonna catch them passes. They would not get shut out today if Michael Thomas was on that field. Heck, if you throw the ball to Jarvis Landry, which that's another I don't know, man. I don't know if they ain't got no plays designed for him or what's going on, but I don't know. We not losing to Andy Dalton. Y'all bet start 2 or 7. I don't know what we talking about. I don't know what you're a fan of. Turned off the game at halftime. Didn't miss much, I see. Good for you. Good for you. Olave is still a rookie. Let's not forget he is above our expectations. I agree, but you got to come up with them passes, though. Who wants DA to return? Can we get a Bishop Bullwinkle? I want to know who the man. I want to know the human being that's going to come here and be talking about he needs to
hell no to the no, hell to the no.
Let's see, bruh. This our first time being shut out since 2002, ironically, against the 49ers. Dennis Allen just finds ways to make history. Yeah, in a negative way. We now get more weapons outside of Mike T and AK and still look pedestrian. Please read chosen comment already, TJ. I think I already read it. I already read that. Andy, DA, and OC gotta go. Hey, can you stroll up? I asked you a question. Do you agree with it? Put it down at the bottom. I'm probably gonna have a hard time looking for it. Just copy and paste, and I'll try to put it on there. This team should look totally different next season. Ugly game offensively on both sides. Both defenses played really well. Turnover made the difference. Heads up to Saints fan. Well, we appreciate that, man. But I mean, I said this on a prediction show. The 49ers might be the team that represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I really feel that way. Like the way that they play, defense, offensively, how they can run the football and impose their will. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't end up in the Super Bowl. I don't like. I know the Eagles winning a lot of games, but I don't think the Eagles going nowhere. I believe Cam, Jameis, and Dalton maybe are gone. I don't know if Cam Jordan gonna be gone, but I will say this: like, if you're gonna be trying to rebuild something, let that man go and try to chase a championship somewhere else. I will say that if he can't get it here, like I would hate that Cam Jordan has played all these years and never like experienced what a Super Bowl feel like. Saints are just way too predictable. I mean, I wouldn't say predictable. I say pedestrian. That's the right P word for them. And there's another word, but I can't say it on the show. DA not fast enough in making adjustments, and if conditions seem not perfect, he can't overcome adverse situations. He struggles with putting the proper personnel. Bruh, man, that is the comment of the night, in my opinion, right now. This is the comment of the night. This is the reason why I feel like he is not a good head coach, because it's beyond just understanding a certain side of the football. You have to have your hand on every single thing, including situational football, which he lacks. He lacks it. Like, and there are times where it seems like he just, being out coached. He being out coached, and you can obviously see it. And it's like, man, there's no aggression, there's no passion. I just feel like it's not a coincidence that the team is something is missing from this team, and he's the head coach. We play too vanilla and safe. We don't take chances at all. At all. What coaches can we even attract to this team? It isn't like we have a quarterback or a high draft pick. Man, look, I got respect for a lot. I got a lot of respect because I know where you got this from. I want to say maybe Nick Underhill said this. First off, I got a lot of respect for Nick Underhill. He does an amazing job with New Orleans football, but I can't tell you how much I disagree with what he's talking about. There's only 32 coaching opportunities in the National Football League. Anybody that honestly believes that if the Saints was to call up a guy that is competent enough to coach their football team next season, and he's going to be like, well, I don't know about that because who y'all quarterback is. No, this guy is going to look at this as an opportunity. He's going to look at it as an opportunity. And we acting like the Saints, like they the Jets or something. I know the Jets are winning now. I wish we were the Jets this season. But we act like they just been terrible. For 15 years, this team has been one of the best teams in the NFC. They have some of the same guys that helped this team be one of the best teams in the NFC. And you don't think they're going to take that into consideration? I fail to believe that. The people know what the Saints are. Just like you can say, oh, who they can attract? Oh, because the Saints aren't winning? You don't think that those coaches can look at, they don't look at what Josh McDaniel doing with the Raiders? Oh, if they get rid of Josh McDaniel, you don't think that the next coach going to just look at what Josh McDaniel's track record is from being a head coach, from him wetting the bed in Denver and now wetting the bed with the Raiders? And now you look at Dennis Allen. You don't think that a coach that's trying to come in, you don't think he's going to look at Dennis Allen's track record for being a not so good coach? I just do not believe that. 32 opportunities are in the National Football League. the Saints can get themselves a good coach. I do not believe that. This isn't college we talking about here. We ain't talking about, oh, I walk in, your facilities don't look as good as Alabama's. Oh, you ain't got no hot tub up in here. Alabama got about 20 of them. This is not like that. Okay. I don't care what they're trying to present to you with Odell Beckham Jr. trying to make it seem like we recruiting like we back in high school. It's not like that. And do you have coaches out here that know that this team has been one of the standards in the NFC for the last 15 years? And the one thing happens is Sean Payton leaves. He has the same coaching staff. And in comes Dennis Allen with that same coaching staff. You don't think they're going to take that into consideration? I don't know what to tell you. That's my stance on this. Anybody that feel like, oh, they ain't got no quarterback. Oh, you ain't gonna get no good coach. Bruh. You got guys out here that wanted their whole life to be a head coach in the National Football League. And if the Saints call them up and they get that interview, they're gonna be trying to do everything they can to be the head coach of the Saints. It's just that simple. The Saints should fire Dennis Allen. They need a disciplined coach, and they need to rebuild. The defense is all right, but the offense has been a one real struggle. And Chris Olave and Taysom Hill, best offense. Yeah, that's all you basically got right there. That's all you got. Get Frank Reich. I agree with that. I'm a Frank Reich guy. Why get rid of Winston? He played better than anyone on the team. The guy was ranked 8 in the league starting of week 4 with a broken back. Man, all I know is this. The Saints just, man, they just need a quarterback. They just need somebody that's going to be out there that's going to be able to wheel and deal and maybe like instill some confidence in this team. Like, can you imagine being a defensive player right now? You play your heart out. You do everything that you can in order for you to get this team a victory. You do everything you could. You do your job, and your offense can't even put a point on the board. Look, I don't care who it is, man. Just give me a quarterback and throw the ball and score some touchdowns, for God's sake. You can literally put a bag of flaming hot Cheetos as quarterback, and it would be better than Dalton. Look, you can dislike Dalton, but to me, this ain't the game to be criticizing him too bad. He played all right. And you know what I'm saying? You can tell like he really was trying hard. He was scrambling out the pocket. He was fighting for extra yards. He just wasn't taking a sack. I mean, to me, like Andy Dalton fought in this game. So I'm not even gonna hate on this man. And then you count the last possession when the Saints were in the red zone. I mean, he threw 2 passes that should have been caught for touchdowns. No wonder they love Andy Dalton so much. Andy is just like them, doesn't show any emotion and doesn't care. I think he cares, man, but I just think that he's limited. I think he's just not going to get you where you need to be. It's just that simple. Love the show, TJ. Fave Saints podcast. Everyone drop a like. Yeah, if you enjoy the show, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. Sean Payton left because of the Saints organization. Yeah, and he didn't want to be affiliated with losing. That's just what it is. Like, you can hate the Patriots all you want to. You can dislike Belichick, but I got a lot of respect for Belichick. When Brady left, he didn't step down and moved on. I mean, he could have easily did it. He could have been like, man, I'm 70 years old. I've been coaching for a long time. Maybe I should step down. But he has been there to try to fight through the dark ages of the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots aren't the class of the AFC East anymore, but he's still there. So for that, I do give him a level of respect, because once again, if it wasn't for the Brian Flores situation, the way that we feel about Sean Payton, about some of us when we feel about Sean Payton, would be completely different, because Sean Payton would have been the biggest Benedict Arnold since Benedict Arnold. Is there any way that they fired Mickey Mouse Loomis? Why would you fire Mickey Loomis? Because he had like one bad year of GMing. Like, how many bad years have you seen from Mickey Loomis that you can justify firing? Like, this dude has been the GM of the New Orleans Saints for about almost 20 years. So, and it only looks bad because the Saints ain't doing nothing. And we also have to take into account the guy that everybody wants back is the one that he hired. I can chew slag and spit bullets just because I said they'll get blank didn't mean for them to do it. How is Dennis Allen still coaching in the NFL? The writing is on the wall. Well, they're gonna try to keep him up there, man, until they just got Quan Alexander. Jets got Quan Alexander the Great. Look, there's not a linebacker on this team. Like I'm look, let's just be 100. There's not a linebacker on this team that has made you think, man, I miss Quan Alexander. That's Caden Ellis. That's the Mario Davis. That's P. Warner. Heck, even Zach Bond made plays in this game today. And I'm glad that they actually use Zach Bond in a way that, I said maybe you need to use him. I like the fact that the Saints use more base defense and they had like the linebackers rushing the quarterback. I actually like that. Right. But he's been outsmarted too. Why would you have a Heisman Trophy winner on the bench for a rusty, broke redhead Andy Dalton? Because that's who he wants. That's who he wants. Nah, Mickey Stan, he just has to fix his mistakes. Get Frank Reich as a coach at OC. I wouldn't be mad at that. But I think Frank Reich gonna get another job. I think a lot of people among the National Football League looked at the coach and they just, didn't like the fact of how they did to Frank Reich. So he might get another opportunity. Saints of the past was good, but now this team sucks. The only reason the team was good for so long was Drew and Sean. Would a shutout loss be enough to get DA out of here? Nope. We got a lot of talent on the team for us to be losing away. We do. Should tell you this coaching staff ain't it. Somebody said it. They hit the nail on the head. It was earlier in the show. They said that they'll probably keep DA and get another offensive coordinator, and I agree with that. You're right, TJ. This situation for coaching is much better than it was when Sean Payton was hired. Yeah, I agree with that. Willie Fritz can outcoach DA. The Saints is going to the back of the pack in NFL like they was before Sean and Drew. I don't. Now, if they keep on doubling down on this foolishness, you're gonna be right. But if they gotta fix this, they better fix it quick. It's hard to get a good coach and someone that wants to come with no quarterback, no cap, lack of draft capital. I don't believe that. I don't. Look, and the thing about it is, this is what y'all trying to convince me. The New Orleans Saints, you're saying all these things happening. There is no bigger situation or no situation that will turn a head coach's eyes than a city under the sea. Don't know if people gonna be coming back. Don't know if what's gonna happen with the team getting displaced. People all over the place, but yet you found the greatest coach in New Orleans Saints history. So somebody and then you didn't have a quarterback then. He didn't have a quarterback. Let's just be real about this. Drew Brees was good, but nobody expected Drew Brees to be as great as he was. Drew Brees was a undersized quarterback with a bum shoulder. And Sean Payton, took a chance on a team that a lot of people didn't even know if they was going to be in New Orleans for a long time like they end up being. So for somebody to have to convince me or somebody to convince me that the situation that happened that the Saints acquired Sean Payton isn't as worse as the situation is now, and they got the greatest coach. Not going to get a worse situation than what happened in New Orleans before Sean Payton got here. And they got him back in 2006, and he has been the greatest coach in New Orleans Saints history. So I get what people are saying, but once again, there are 32 spots in the National Football League at head coach. Guys want to be head coaches. And then the thing about it is they're competitors. So when they look at this, they like, man, I can come up in here and I can change things. And that's the kind of guy you want. Like, to be honest with you, like if you call up a bunch of guys and you tell them about the situation, the guy that you want is the guy that don't shy away from the situation. You want the guy that embraces it. You're gonna find, like, man, you're gonna find a guy that wants to coach this team. And if you do your due diligence, you'll find a coach that can help you, lift you out of the dark ages. Never forget, this was we were one draft pick away in 2008 from getting Patrick Mahomes. If it wasn't for the stupid Chiefs, we would have had him, and Peyton would have had 2 dynasties. Yeah. The 49ers played in Mexico on Monday night. This is a terrible loss, and the Saints were shut out to boot. The Saints brass have to know that no free agents will come to play for Dennis Allen. That I believe. Now that part, I believe. Now, when it comes to like a head coach, it won't shy them away if they want a job, but as far as a player, yes, man, they ain't coming here. There is a reason why Pete Carmichael did not want to be the OC. I'm gonna read. I'm strolling down. I'm gonna read a few more. Man, like I said, I got some chicken to eat. Hey, TJ, the Saints not going to beat Tampa either. That I honestly believe. Get Denzel Washington from Remember the Titan movie to help with the fumbling issues. I don't even think he can help him. If Hooker falls to the second round, would you still take him despite the injury? I think. Look, yep, yes, I would. Yes, I would, and I will probably get one of these guys, to stay around, to be that bridge quarterback. Play a couple of games with him and see where it goes. By the time Hendon Hooker actually comes back, probably be mid-season. But I really feel like, to be honest with you, I really feel like the Saints gonna end up signing Jimmy Garoppolo next season. Like, I'm serious. I really feel that way. I feel like they're probably going to end up signing Jimmy Garoppolo to the Saints. Like, seriously, that's what I feel like they might end up doing. Because here's the deal. If we want to talk about attractions and all that kind of stuff, there, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's not going to lose you a football game, and he's going to make some plays. Now, I know he didn't really do too much today, but he didn't do anything that really just cost the team the game. And the dude has been to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl appearance, and has played pretty well when you needed him to play well. So, wouldn't surprise me at all if Jimmy Garoppolo don't end up being the starting quarterback for the Saints next year. Like, some people was talking about the Jets because of Robert Saleh, but I mean, if Mike White keep on playing the way that he's playing, why would you get rid of him? He's young. He's on a rookie deal. You still got Zach. You still got the Zach attack out there. You know what I'm saying? Zach Wilson. Maybe they feel like maybe one more year, probably develop him, see where he at. So Jimmy G. Like, don't be surprised if Jimmy Garoppolo end up being a starting quarterback for the Saints next year. Hey, TJ, I heard Aaron Rodgers could come to New Orleans. What him and his girlfriend coming down for visit? I don't see that happening. Get Jimmy, cut Dennis Allen. Better than Andy Dalton. Jimmy G will be an upgrade for sure. The referees help Jimmy G out to TJ. Yeah, look, I just feel like, Jimmy, you can talk about Jimmy Garoppolo all you want to. Is he would he knock your socks off every week? No, but if you got a good defense that play like this, and he gonna win you some games. I guarantee you, if Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints next year, I guarantee you'll probably have some guys that want to come in and play with him. TJ, how do you feel about Jameis Winston? I think Jameis Winston is a good quarterback. I think that Jameis Winston needs to be in a circumstance where a team actually believes in him. The Saints don't believe in him. Like, let's just call a spade, folks. Like, let's just cut the crap. The Saints don't believe in this dude. So for us to keep on campaigning and protesting, put in Jameis, it's not happening. It's obvious that to me, I'm fine with it. Not because of the decision with the Saints, but because I feel like, look, Jameis Winston deserves a team that's going to believe in him. He deserves a coach that's going to put him in the best position to succeed and not going to shy away from him the first line of trouble. So I say for him to rest up, get his back right, get his leg right, his ACL right, and then go out there in free agency and maybe, play for a team that's not going to yank you after one interception or a turnover. Like, let's just do that. The dude deserves better. He deserves better. There's no way in the world that if Sean Payton was the head coach of the Saints, he'll probably be he would still be on the sidelines. There is no way. There's no way. He deserves better. Like, so I'm not going to look, the dude deserves a team to believe in him. Seriously. Let's see. Jameis needs to go where he would be appreciated. Exactly. Like, what we sitting up here trying to force the issue. Like, you can't force Dennis Allen to like this dude or accept this dude as his quarterback. It's unfortunate, but it's just the truth. This dude deserves for somebody to he deserves for somebody to invest in him and believe in him, put a team around him, and help him see the field the way that a coach is supposed to do a play. And I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. How do you feel about Williams from Southern Cal? Caleb Williams? I think he pretty good. But I'll hope that the Saints aren't as trash as they are next year as they are this year for us to have to acquire him. I hope not. Byron Leftwich would improve the offense and have the quarterback playing better. I don't know about that, bro. Jimmy thrives with a good defense, honestly. I mean, I don't know what other quarterback wouldn't. When they overturned the Olave catch, really let me know it was going to be a long day. If I'm Jameis and his reps, no way I come back here on principle. Nah. It's two things gonna happen. DA gonna go or Jameis gonna go. It's rather the one or the other, but they are not going to be able to coexist next year. But I don't think the Saints, as dumb as this is, I don't feel like they're gonna get rid of Dennis Allen. So Jameis gonna be, a casualty. As long as we have Dennis Allen, no quality players are going to want to come here. Man, I'm telling you, as long as Dennis Allen is the head coach of this New Orleans Saints team, attendance gonna go down, morale gonna go down, player interest gonna go down. I mean, it's just what it is. Now, if he does come back next year, I hope that somebody rewinding this tape and be like, man, you said this about Dennis Allen, but I doubt it. We got Tampa and Brady on Monday night next week. Do we have a chance? Yeah, we got a chance. Look. This game, like, it's crazy to sound, this game didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me, and I'm going to tell you why. Not the loss, but the way that they played defense. Because here's the reality. The Saints play well versus quarterbacks who are known as basically stationary targets. Like Jimmy Garoppolo, he got a little move. He can move left and right, but he's going to stay where he at. He ain't going to run and scramble out of the pocket like you see Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, they got a chance. And honestly, it would not surprise me if they beat Tampa. Because the way that the Saints defense is structured to play against a stationary target. That's why I feel like when it comes to the draft, they need to get a little bit more speed on the edge. You need to get yourself some guys that's going to be able to run sideline to sidelines because the NFL is changing. Now you have quarterbacks, even if they are kind of pocket passers, they still can run out of the pocket, and you still have to keep a spy on them at all times. So, but yeah, the type of quarterback that Jimmy Garoppolo is, the type of quarterback that Matthew Stafford is, the type of quarterback that Tom Brady is, it plays into the hands of the Saints defense. So honestly, it would not surprise me if they have another performance like this again. Man, we had so many opportunities to win this game. It's truly sad. They're not worried about the Saints. If you notice, they're focused all on the Pelicans. Mickey Loomis is the GM for both. Gail Benson owns both. Nah, I'm not doing that. Hey, that's a hard sell for me. They care about the Saints. I don't wish Dennis Allen on nobody, not even my enemies. Vrabel has Willis. 4 fumbles by AK. Yeah, this season. Yeah. I believe it is time for a new general manager. I don't. TJ, what do you think the real issue is with Jameis Winston? Fear. The same thing that has him punting on 4th and 1 at the 45 when you got Taysom Hill. The same reason why you're not throwing a Hail Mary with Jameis Winston, who has a stronger arm than both quarterback Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton, is fear, right? It's just fear. Like I think that he believes and he sees some of the things that Jameis Winston has done, and he doesn't want to hitch his wagon to Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston, in the eyes of the National Football League, is a turnover machine, and he's beyond, he's beyond being fixed. And I think that he believes that. And if you learn anything from Dennis Allen, I mean, he got a pretty short leash. If he run the ball with Mark Ingram and Mark Ingram get 1 yard, you will not see Mark Ingram probably to the 4th quarter. If he runs the ball twice with Alvin Kamara, he gets 2 and 3 yards, you probably would not see them run the football anymore. So that's the reason why. I mean, basically his entire behavior is kind of a short leash. So I think that's the reason why he just doesn't want to go with Jameis Winston. There's no way Dalton starting next week. I think he will. Played in the SWAC Jags. Let's see. Can a head coach get demoted? He can, but I don't see that happening. SWAC. What are we talking about the SWAC for? We talking about Southern Jaguars? How they about to get steamrolled by the Jackson State Tigers? I believe that. That's something I know that's gonna happen. I know that's gonna happen. I disagree as well. In my opinion, I feel bad teams are the only teams that attract potential coaches. If they were great or elite, they wouldn't have to hire a coach. So that's is the norm. That's a good point. But some people are talking about, they ain't got no draft picks. They ain't got no draft picks. Like, man, please. They know what this team can be. Money, who's going to start then? That's the reason DA can't help Jameis see the field, so he went with the vet to save his job. Yeah. Look, I feel like Dennis Allen has Jameis on the sidelines because he doesn't believe in Jameis and he doesn't believe in Pete Carmichael to help Jameis see the field. Seriously. Jameis Winston, first 5 years in the NFL, he was top 5 in passing yards, touchdowns, and most metrics. But Jerry, that is absolutely true. But the next thing somebody gonna say to you is, what did that give him? How many playoff appearances he had? How many winning seasons he had as a quarterback? I'm not saying this. I'm just saying, like, we throw up these quarterback metrics and these analytics, but what does that actually mean if you ain't winning no games? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't winning, that sound good, but where the wins at? You know what I'm saying? Where the playoff appearances at? Like, you could throw for 300-400 yards, but how many games? Like, did you win? Like I said, I'm not saying it. I'm saying this is what people are saying about Jameis Winston and how they feel about him. Like, yeah, like all these people throwing up these numbers in the red zone. He 85%. He 100%. He 110%. He 2,027%. But where the wins at? That's what people like. Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. Like, if you want to be real with it, Patrick Mahomes throws a lot of interceptions. Like, he turns the ball over quite a bit. He averages about 13, 14 interceptions a year. But guess what? Nobody cares. Guess what? Because when it all comes down to it, when they call it nut cutting time, this man go out there and he ball out and he wins more times than not. I mean, I'm just being real, man. You can throw as many analytics, you can say anything, you can put the percentages up, but where the wins at? Where the wins at? Just like when they talk about Andy Dalton. Well, they're more efficient on third down when Andy Dalton. Where the wins at? Yeah, they converting on third down, but are they scoring? Are they at the end of the game? Do they have more points than an opponent? That's all I'm saying. So when people start talking about analytics and start talking about numbers and start talking about air distance and PFF and all that, like where the wins at? I don't care. Like, I don't care about third down conversion rate. I don't care about air distance. I don't care about any of that stuff. Did you win? Did you win? I think they'll be glad when we won't be defending Winston or Dalton. At this particular point, it really doesn't matter. The Saints ain't making the playoffs, no way. All I'm saying is all these numbers and analytics, none of this stuff matters if your team is garbage. Simple and plain. It's just as simple as that. I don't care if you threw 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, completed 70% of your passes. If you lost the game, guess what? The only person that's going to be happy is probably your agent because he can use that as leverage for your next contract negotiation. What are you winning? They tell me Andy Dalton, his third down conversion rate. The offense looks more efficient, but you're losing. You're losing. You are the voice of the people, TJ. How you really feel? Are you okay when Andy don't start next week, or do you stand on that Jameis Winston should be on the field next week? This is unacceptable. Look, you ain't going to playoff no way. So I say this. I heard people talking about Jameis Winston. You ought to be able to see what you got in him, a sample size. Look, man, the dude came out and basically said he healthy enough to play, and you still didn't go back to him. Not only did you not go back to him, you ain't even try to put him in a game at all, right? So in the offense, if the offense ain't really moving or being effective, normally like if a coach is kind of torn between two quarterbacks, if the offense not really getting a spark, in comes the other guy, right? Have y'all seen that, or y'all had any indication that might happen? No. So what will Jameis Winston starting against Tampa going to do? It's not going to change Dennis Allen's mind about what he feels about Jameis Winston, even if Jameis Winston come out there and light it up. Now, the only person that will benefit from that would be Jameis Winston, and maybe because it's a primetime game, if he plays well, then you probably would have, other teams and stuff like that may need a quarterback next year. You'll be able to put some eyes on him. But I don't see that happening because, quite frankly, like I said, I just don't think that Dennis Allen really cares that much for Jameis Winston. He doesn't feel like Jameis Winston can help his team win. Anyone who played football knows TOs are never on the quarterback. A turnover is never on the quarterback. It's always on the wide receiver. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But hey. I mean, I didn't see some passes where quarterback throw it into triple coverage, no business throwing that pass into it. I didn't see some plays. Now you might have some plays where receiver might run the wrong route, or ball might pop up in the air and intercept, like that pass that Callaway, it popped up in the air and it got picked off. Yeah, that definitely wasn't Andy Dalton's fault. There was a couple of plays where maybe a Hail Mary or something like that, it gets picked off. I don't really. I feel like all turnovers aren't created equal. I would say that, but to say that it ain't the quarterback fault, man, tell that to the person that Ben Scott Mitchell, Rob Johnson, like some of those cats, they'll tell you, why are these quarterbacks getting benched then is the question. Hey, TJ, we need to hear that Glory song, Oh My Lord, Lord, Lord. Yeah, man. I played that at the beginning of the show. All that stuff you speaking is is philosophy from their system when we played park ball on. Let's see. Only thing matters, like you said, is bro. I don't care. I don't care what it is. People want to fall in love with metrics and all that kind of stuff to justify it, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You need a quarterback that's going to be able to deliver things, but you know, like the only thing that matters at the end of the day is winning and losing. Winning and losing. Are you winning or are you losing? Yeah, and that's just what all there is to it. TJ, it doesn't matter what you tell Jerry Lewis. Jameis Winston is his Messiah, no matter what. Look, I don't look. Believe in what you want to believe. Trust who you want to trust. All I'm saying is you can talk about as many analytics as you want to. And quite frankly, you know, I feel bad because all these numbers and stuff like that, to me, it's starting to make this dude kind of turn people off from it, because you're putting these analytics up here, and what is it like? What is he equating to? Like, seriously, what is it equating to? Like, at the end, like, Jameis Winston is 28 years old. So how many more years do you feel like he's going to get a legitimate chance to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League? I'm just saying, how many opportunities you think he's going to get? And people just you're going to be able to justify, oh, you know what I'm saying, this happened, but Jameis did this. Like, how many times you think this is going to happen? Even like with Dalton, how many times all these people justifying Dalton, you feel like it's going to, you know, help his cause? All I'm saying is every single year you have younger quarterbacks that come into the league. Organizations are going to hitch their wagon to those starting quarterbacks. And the older Jameis Winston get, is going to be more and more like, if he wants to sustain success or be in the National Football League, he's going to be holding somebody's clipboard. I feel bad for him, but that's just the reality. You know, and these analytics ain't going to be able to help him. Hey, TJ, the Saints should grab Spencer Rattler in the draft. I ain't seen enough out of that dude. I mean, I know he beat Tennessee or something like that. He threw like 6 touchdowns, but I don't know. DA can't even win a game of goldfish. He would be talking about how you got to clean that up. Let's see. 1 and 2 start. Just subscribe to at Pammy. Dennis James Allen is a hot dumpster garbage. That's our team's problem. Where can I sign that petition to overthrow him? I think it's on change.org. It's on change.org. Hey, what is Jerry's channel? I'll take Jameis Winston over any of Jimmy G any day. Okay, all right. That's a fair point. I can't argue with that, but I still stand by what I said. I would not be surprised if Jimmy Garoppolo is rather the Saints going to try to sign Jimmy Garoppolo. They're going to try to get him to New Orleans, or he going to sign one or the other. Jameis will get more chances as backup. Most likely, he will get in when a quarterback gets hurt, like Brissett. Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like Jameis Winston, to me, he might have one more shot to be like a legitimate starting quarterback of the league. After that, I don't know if anybody going to give him another opportunity. As unfair as that may be, I really believe that. You guys want Jameis over Jimmy? Wow, you guys are ridiculous. I'll get revenge on Madden for us. What happened to Harrison, number 11? Oh, you talking about Harris? Oh, yeah, he hurt. Say should get Michael Penix. He's very overrated. I mean, Jameis fan. Man, we all Jameis fans. But I can't be delusional on this. Like, I mean, NFL, like, they don't care about metrics. They don't care about analytics. They don't care about your percentage of the red zone. They want to know, can they win with you? Brian Hardy is injured. He's not Harris anymore. Special teams and running backs fumble were the reason for the 1 and 2 start, not the play of the quarterback. I mean, look, all I'm saying is you could go into You can go into as many groups as you want to that are Saints groups and say these things. I'm just telling you, Jerry, nobody really cares, man. Like nobody cares. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is winning. Nobody, that's all people care about. When you get a reputation, it's hard to shake it. Yep. Dennis Allen can't coach a bad pickleball team. I'll take Jameis Winston over Jimmy G any day. I think you said that twice. I don't know if you wanted to do it for dramatic effect, but we heard you the first time. Jameis never had a performance at quarterback like Andy Dalton did versus the Cardinals. And the reason why Dennis is is so biased against Winston right now, or week 3, they just want Winston to rest up, and they heck with it and play him week 1 next season. Mark my words. Well, we'll see. But my final thoughts are very, very simple. New Orleans Saints are not a very good football team. I'm sorry for everybody that had to watch this game. Could have did something else with your time. Go ahead and read off some of these stats. Did I read this already? Well, if I didn't, for all those that just joined in, please hit the like button, by the way. Andy Dalton, 18 of 29, 204 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Taysom Hill threw 1 pass, didn't record a yard. Andy Dalton led the team in rushing. No said. 4 carries, 21 yards. Taysom Hill, another quarterback. So you have 2 quarterbacks that led the team in rushing. 6 carries for 13 yards. Kamara, 7 carries for 13 yards. Mark Ingram, 4 carries, 10 yards. Rashid Shaheed, 1 carry for 6 yards. I must say this, and while I'm thinking about it, the guy that was fluting today, we got to talk about who was fluting. I got to put Rashid Shaheed up there. Rashid Shaheed came to play, okay? 2 catches for 53 yards. And man, he did some things today. He had like one little route, you know what I'm saying? Like he shook the defender out of his shoes. Like the kid came to play. All right, Chris Olave, 5 catches for 62 yards. Alvin Kamara, 6 catches for 37 yards. Jarvis Landry, 2 catches for 20 yards. Why doesn't Jarvis Landry have more targets? Adam Troutman had his 1 catch. Traquan Smith, they had a sighting of him. 1 catch for 8 yards. Taysom Hill, 1 catch, 7 yards. Mark Ingram, no catches. Jawan Johnson, wow, after coming clutch in the last couple weeks, no catches. Alvin Kamara, 2 fumbles, 2 losses. Caden Ellis with 14 tackles. 14. Chris Harris, who was getting posterized all game, is justifiably so that he was second in tackles because he was getting worked and he had to get the guy down on the ground once he caught the pass. 7 tackles. Then you had Demario Davis with 7. Paulson Adebo with 6. Shy Tuttle with 5. And he also had a sack. Marcus May, who did a really good job today. Now, look, I got to mention this because people were very critical on Marcus May. He did a hell of a job against George Kittle today. Okay, I didn't hear George Kittle name at all today. Matter of fact, let me see what George Kittle's stat line was. George Kittle, 3 catches for 26 yards. So they kept that boy in check. Okay, so I'm gonna get like we talk about Marcus May, you know, when he don't do well. So let's talk about him when he had to go up against George Kittle today. Then you had Marcus, like I said, Zach Barnes with 4 tackles, played pretty good today. Alante Taylor, who should have had an interception, he had 4 tackles. Tyrann Mathieu with 3 tackles, had a tackle for loss. Kendavius Street, he had 2 tackles. Bradley Rober with 2. Got a couple more guys with 2. But, you know, the very shocking thing about it, Cam Jordan only had 1 tackle today. He only had 1 tackle. And Marcus Davenport was just out there for cardio. So those are your stat lines. You know, you have Will Lutz, used to be named Will Clutch. Don't know what he needs to be called today. Blake Gillikin, who also punted the ball, did really well today. But my final thoughts is, once again, the Saints are not a very good football team. It is what it is, folks. No need to get yourself all stressed out and worked up about a team that's going to be underachieving until they no longer can play this season. Look, it's just best for us to be looking forward to 2023. Hopefully we can get ourselves back on track, and, you know, hopefully we didn't put ourselves too far behind the 8 ball, because if you look at the NFC South, you start looking at teams like the Panthers, and, you know, we laugh at the Falcons, but hey, man, they might end up doing something. It looks like the teams that's been a class over the last 2 to 3 years, the Bucks and the Saints, going to be the teams that going to be on the outside looking in. They will be on the outside looking in if the New Orleans Saints front office don't do something about this and try to address this. The Saints need some more dogs defensively. They need some guys that can go out there and make some catches, and they need some guys that's going to go out there on the offensive line that's going to be able to open up holes for the running game. Look, I'm over Andrews Pete. I don't think that he is the answer anymore. These guys were getting absolutely tossed around by the defensive line, and I think you need a couple more guys on this offensive line with a mean streak. Too many nice guys for my liking. I do think, Eric McCoy not being out there is crucial. But look, they got to do something. They're going to find themselves like where they are right now, which is dead last in the NFC South for years to come. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. I ask that you hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. Also subscribe to the channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes are available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?